Another beautiful day in paradise. Hello, and good afternoon. On this episode of Golden Yoga, I thought we'd begin with a little tour of my back garden. I've been working pretty hard these past couple weeks on making it somewhat livable. So I'll show you what I've got going on. Got some tomatoes, courgettes, radish, garlic, peas, and beans. So these are my little buddies. God, I hope they grow. I love you. I love you, please grow. And here's my dirt patch. Planted an onion right there yesterday. Pew! Onion. Hopefully, stuff will grow back here. That is the plan. Alright, who's ready for some yoga? Come to your mat and we will begin seated. Cross-legged pose in Sukhasana. As you can see, I have a block, or you can use books as well to sit up on. We'll be here a couple minutes. As you can tell, the production value has significantly increased due to a generous contribution from one of my first patrons. Thanks, Mom. Once you arrive seated, sit nice and tall, and maybe it'll feel good to roll the shoulders forward, up, and back a couple times before you arrive with your shoulders back and down, your neck nice and long, like there is a string pulling through the crown of your head. You sit nice and tall. And straight away, start to deepen your breath, breathing in and out the nose. Bring your focus to all the sensations of your breath. Follow it as it begins through the nostrils, down through the throat, and deep into the belly, and then as it flows back out. On your next inhale, we'll begin a counted breath, breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4, and release. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. At the end of your exhale, slowly drop your chin to your chest. Release the counted breath. Just return to natural, deep breathing. Imagine with each breath you are inflating a balloon at the back of your neck. On your next inhale, slowly roll the right ear over to the right shoulder. On the exhale, release the chin back to the chest. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. Exhale, chin back to the chest. Inhale, right ear, right shoulder. Exhale, chin back to the chest, and inhale, left ear to the left shoulder. Exhale, release the chin back to the chest. Last time, inhale, rolling the head over the right shoulder. Exhale, back to the chest, and inhale, over to the left shoulder. Exhale, release back to the chest. Next, inhale, lift the head back to neutral. And turn the head over the right shoulder. So we're just looking over our right shoulder without moving the shoulders, without twisting the spine, taking the gaze as far behind us as we can go. Exhale, release to center, and turn the head over the left shoulder. Try not to force anything here. On an exhale, slowly release your head back to center. Ground down the right palm to the floor just next to your right hip. Try not to lift the left sit bone off the ground. On the inhale, float the left arm alongside the left ear, palm face down. As we breathe, we're breathing into that left side body, so feel the skin, fascia, everything stretch. Lots of energy through the left fingertips. On an exhale, slowly release your left arm back to the floor beside your left hip. And now we ground down through the left palm, bending into the left elbow, drop the left shoulder, inhale, float the right arm alongside the right ear. Again, right palm face down. Try not to let your right sit bone lift too much off the block or off your books or the mat. And maybe with a couple breaths, we can sink a little deeper, only if it's comfortable. One more inhale. And on the exhale, we slowly release the right arm down by our sides and come back up to seated. Bring the hands to the knees. We're going to start some spinal flexion and extensions. On an inhale, draw the navel forward, lift the chin, look up. On the exhale, tuck the navel in, round through the spine, look down. Inhale, pelvis tilting forward, lift the chin, look up. Exhale, draw the navel into the spine, look down. Inhale, belly coming forward, chin lifts. Exhale, round the spine. Next inhale, come back up to seated to neutral. We're slowly going to remove our books or our block and roll gracefully over the ankles onto all fours where we will meet in tabletop. So when we're in tabletop, we always try to make sure our shoulders are right over our wrists and our knees are right below the hips. And we begin our rounds of cat-cow. With each inhale, we drop the belly, pull the chest between the arms and lift the chin. With each exhale, draw the navel up into the spine, push the floor away, separate the shoulder blades. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin. Exhale, draw the navel up into the spine. Do your best here to sync up your movement with your breath. So the movement starts when the breath starts and ends when the breath ends. Next inhale, return to neutral, to tabletop. We're going to start making large circles with the hips. You can start just side to side like a half moon. Gradually growing larger, going further over the wrists. And then maybe taking a full circle one direction. And then change direction for a couple full circles, going further back toward the heels each time. Return to table, curl the toes under, walk the hands forward. First send the hips all the way back on top of the heels. Then we press through the fingertips and extend the legs into downward facing dog. Now, it's not so important that your heels touch the floor in down dog. It's more important that you get that nice long extended spine. So we're trying to avoid any rounding through the spine. If that means keeping the heels lifted and the knees nice and bent, then that's what's best. Slowly walk out the heels. On the exhale, release the heel to the floor. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. And we return to downward facing dog. On an inhale, we slowly ripple forward to high plank, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, lift the hips back up into down dog. Inhale, we ripple forward, high plank. Exhale back, down dog. On the inhale, roll forward. We stay in high plank just a couple breaths. If you need to lower your knees to supported plank, please do. Last inhale. And as we exhale, we slowly lower down to the belly. Keep the elbows into the side body and release the full body to the floor. On the inhale, the upper body lifts into baby cobra and exhale, release. Do this twice more. Notice my kneecaps lifted, my feet, the tops of my feet gently pressing into the floor. On the exhale, curl the toes, and we push back up to high plank and then into down dog. On an inhale, look forward. Exhaling, we step to the top of our mat, forward fold. Definitely take a deep bend in your knees for forward fold and just ragdoll your upper body over your legs. Go for a lower belly to upper thigh connection. Your feet should be about hip distance, toes pointing straight forward. Sometimes it feels good. Take hold of the opposite elbows and rock from side to side. Nice and slowly. Smooth motion. On the inhale, we lift halfway, palms to shins, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold, bend in the knees. And inhaling, we roll all the way up to standing. There goes the upper half of my body. On the exhale, palms together at the heart center. So we're standing nice and tall in Tadasana or mountain pose. Kneecaps gently lifted, body slightly engaged, feeling strong and sturdy. Next inhale, we reach up, palms together, and on the exhale, we fold forward from the hips. Palms go straight down the midline. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, palms to shins, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold. Plant the palms. We step back to high plank or supported plank, and we lower all the way down to the belly. Keep the elbows into the side body. On the inhale, baby cobra, lift the upper body. Exhale, release, curl the toes, push back up to plank and into down dog for about 5 breaths. If it feels good, we can slowly walk out the heels here again. On an inhale, we slowly float the right leg up and back so it's about parallel to the floor. Then exhale, knee to nose, and we step the right foot between the hands. Lower the left heel. Left toe should be about at a 45-degree angle. Right toe is pointing straight forward. Right knee is directly over the right ankle. And on an inhale, we slowly cartwheel up into Warrior Two. So, once again, check in with the front knee over the front ankle. The back leg should also be nice and toned, so it's not just waiting there. To avoid a dip in the lower back, tuck the tailbone under, draw the navel in. A bit of core activity. And then lift the arms parallel to the ground. The gaze is soft over the right middle finger. And the shoulders are nice and relaxed. Lots of space around the ears. This pose is very grounding, connecting, and strengthening. On your next exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Inhaling, lengthen through the right leg, both legs straight. We send the arms up parallel to the ground once more, and then on an inhale, reach forward with the right arm, send the hips back, and then fold from the hips, Trikonasana. And if you need your block or your books to put inside that right foot, a bit of support, you can also rest your hand on your right ankle or your right shin. Wherever your right hand is, try not to put too much weight into it. So the idea here is we are holding ourselves lifted, the upper body lifted, with just the muscles of the core. If you need to take a micro bend in that front right knee, it's definitely recommended. And if it's comfortable, take the gaze over the left shoulder. Inhaling, lift back up, arms parallel. On the exhale, bend into that right knee. We arrive in Warrior Two once again. Just a couple more breaths here in Warrior Two. On your next exhale, slowly drop the left arm. As the left arm lifts forward, we pivot up onto the ball of the left foot, hips face forward, we arrive in high lunge. So check back in with your right knee, make sure it's over your right ankle. Maybe take the gaze up, maybe find a gentle back bend. One more inhale. And on the exhale, we fold forward, plant the palms either side of the right foot, and step back into plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to the floor. On the inhale, baby cobra, upper body lifts. Exhale, release, and we push slowly back up into down dog. For about 5 breaths once again. Keep pressing through the fingers, lengthen from the bottom of the rib cage. And keep those knees bent if it's comfortable. On your next inhale, slowly float the left leg up and back. On the exhale, bend at the left knee and draw the left knee into the nose before stepping the left foot between the hands. And we lower the right heel. Once again, back toes, right toes at a 45-degree angle. front knee over front ankle. And on an inhale, we cartwheel up into Warrior Two. So check back in with the front knee and with the hips. And once again, if you're feeling your lower back dip, tuck the tailbone under, draw the navel in. And then bring the arms back to parallel to the earth. The gaze is soft over the left middle finger. Shoulders are relaxed. Tune into the sensation of the solid floor beneath the soles of your feet. Exhaling, release the hands to the hips. Inhale, lengthen through that front leg, the left leg, and reach forward. On the exhale, we fold from the hips into Trikonasana. Once again, you have your books there or your block to rest your left hand onto, or you can rest it on your shin or your ankle and take the chin over the right shoulder if that's accessible today. On your next inhale, press through that left foot and lift the arms back up to parallel. On the exhale, bend into that left knee. And we arrive back in Warrior Two for a couple breaths. Check back in with your joint stacking. Check back in with the muscles of the face. Nice and soft and relaxed. One more inhale. And on the exhale, we slowly drop that right arm. As the right arm lifts forward, we pivot up onto the ball of the left foot. Both arms lift, we arrive in high lunge. If it's comfortable, lift the gaze, find a gentle back bend. Last inhale. And on the exhale, we slowly fold forward over the left leg. Plant the palms either side of the left foot and we step back into plank or supported plank. This time feel free to lower halfway instead of all the way. Inhale forward to up dog instead of baby cobra and back into downward facing dog. We'll stay a few breaths here in down dog. The gaze is back between the knees or up at the navel. Really lengthening from the bottom of the rib cage down into the fingertips. Next, inhale, look forward. Exhale, step both feet to the top of the mat. Forward fold once again. Take hold of the opposite elbows. And allow the weight of the upper body to lengthen the spine. On an exhale, slowly release the hands. And inhaling, palms to shins, we lift halfway. Grab your books or your block and place it just in front of both of your feet, right in the center. Bring your left hand on top of your block and bend into your left knee, lengthen through the right. Inhale, we reach the right arm up and take the gaze over the right shoulder. So the twisted forward fold. Your left knee is bent, right leg is extended. And we're lifting through the right fingertips, so full wingspan. On the exhale, right arm returning down to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring the right palm to the top of the block or the books. Bend into the right knee, lengthen through the left. And inhaling, we send the left arm up this time. Take the gaze over the left shoulder. One more inhale here. And on the exhale, slowly release the left arm down, left hand to the floor. On an inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. On an inhale, we slowly roll up to standing, Tadasana. Palms together overhead, and exhale, hands to the heart center. Zip up your feet, so close the gap between your feet, maybe leave a little space between the heels. Slowly, we sit into our chair, into our imaginary chair. All right, so we build here from the ground up. First, we check in with the feet. Where is the weight distributed in the feet? We're going for even weight between all four corners of the soles of the feet. Moving up from the feet, check in with your knees. Make sure they're not going beyond the tips of your toes, rather just about in line with the tips of your toes. Try to avoid a dip in the lower back by tucking the tailbone under, drawing the navel in. The arms can be lifted alongside the ears, palms facing center, or palms together at the heart center. Hopefully I've distracted you enough from everyone's least favorite pose. And on your next inhale, lengthen through the knees, lift to standing, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, plant the palms. We step back, high plank, where we'll stay with the shoulders over the wrists for just a couple breaths. Rather than holding here in high plank, we're lifting through the upper back, really separating the shoulder blades. And exhale, lower the knees and lower the body all the way to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, release. This next time when the upper body lifts, we'll stay lifted and slide the elbows forward so the elbows fall under the shoulders. Elbows under the shoulders, palms are face down, going straight out from the elbows. This is Sphinx pose. Make sure we're not sagging into the shoulders, but rather lifting, pressing the elbows into the earth, lifting through the shoulders. Lots of integrity. Chin is level to the floor. We lift the hips, walk the forearms back, allow the hips to release to the heels, and arrive in child's pose. Child's pose is a restorative pose, a resting pose. So if it's not comfortable, if your forehead isn't reaching the floor comfortably, move the block under the forehead. Or if your hips aren't reaching your heels comfortably, maybe slide a folded up blanket between your legs and your hips, between your feet and your hips, or maybe a cushion. So we're just trying to make ourselves nice and comfy. Now as we breathe, we're breathing into our backs. So with each breath, the back expands. On your next inhale, slowly lift to kneeling. Walk the hands forward, come to the center of your mat, and we're just going to swing the feet to one side and arrive at seated. Make sure you have enough space to roll back. On an inhale, reach the arms forward, and exhaling, we draw the navel in and really take your time rolling down to flat back. And notice here my head landed in the dirt. Draw your knees up into the chest. Apanasana. Take a couple moments here. Slowly release your left foot to the floor. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Bring the right arm between the legs. And as you draw the left knee up into the chest, interlace the fingers behind the left knee. So thread the needle here. Try not to force your left knee closer to your body, so little effort with the arms. Try to keep that right foot actively flexing toward your shin. This will help to protect the knee. Take very deep breaths here, creating space in the right hip. And slowly release the left foot to the floor, along with the right. Cross the left ankle over the right knee. We draw the right knee up into the chest and bring the left arm between the legs, hands interlace behind the right knee. Remember to keep your left foot active here as well. If you suffer from sciatica problems like myself, this is an excellent pose to release pressure in the sciatic nerve. Just a couple more deep breaths. Last inhale. And exhaling, we slowly release the right foot to the floor, followed by the left. Bring your feet as wide as your mat. For non-mat people, your feet should be just outside your hips with the knees bent. The arms can go straight out or bent at the elbows, cactus arms, and then slowly release the knees to the right and take the chin over the left shoulder. Next inhale, lift the knees back up to center along with the chin. And the following exhale, slowly release your knees to the left and your chin to the right. So we're starting to release, starting to tune back into those subtle muscles, those small muscles that we might not even notice we're holding or clenching. So take your time to allow your focus to wash over your whole body. Inhaling, we lift the knees back up to center and then draw the knees up into the chest and wrap the arms around for one last hug. And then slowly, one by one, we release the legs to the floor. Allow the toes to flop out to the sides. Arms come down by your sides, palms face up. So entering into Shavasana now, our final resting pose. It's very important that you make yourself as comfortable as possible. If you want to put on a jumper or some socks, if you have a blanket nearby, throw that over. And once you're as comfortable as possible, give your full weight into the floor beneath you. Come to stillness and allow your body to absorb the practice. If you'd like to remain in Shavasana for longer, pause the video here and continue enjoying your bit of silence and stillness. When you are ready, start to bring gentle movement back into the fingers and the toes. Slowly release the head from side to side. And then, taking your time, bend at the knees and come up to seated. While I, in my video, will remain lying on the ground because my phone ran out of space. Once you arrive in seated, bring your palms together in front of your forehead. Rest the knuckles of your thumbs off the space between the eyebrows. And take this opportunity to thank yourself for honoring your body and mind with this practice. And on the exhale, slowly lower your hands to your heart center. I would also like to thank you for joining me this morning, evening, or afternoon, whenever you have decided to do your practice. Slowly release your chin to your chest. Namaste.